Welcome to another episode of Beyond Headline with Akhilesh Bhargava and me, Sujit Nair. Sri Narendra Damodar Das Modi, the Prime Minister of India, has said that India will be a 5 trillion USD economy by 2025. He says it will be 5 trillion. I don't know whether he's right or wrong, which I'm sure Akhilesh will tell us. But what I want to understand is India could be 5 trillion or 50 trillion. But will the poverty of India be eradicated? Will we get clean drinking water? Will we get health facilities? Will a small entrepreneur, a small business, will she get an opportunity to grow? Will there be employment? Will there be infrastructure? Or will those 5 trillion of economy be controlled by 3 or 4 business families in this country? And if it is, what is it worth? Lots of questions in one question.
I will first go on the negative trajectory of what you were talking. A $5 trillion economy will mean bigger NPAs, bigger scams, bigger Ponzi's, much bigger corruption, far more complicated laws which suit some and don't suit some. There will be far bigger inequality of income. The number of billionaires who will, crush the common man with far bigger boots is going to be there. There will be easily monopolies created because of this kind of a skewing of the economy in favor of some people. So it will certainly happen. And most of all, the reason the Prime Minister loves to say this is the Prime Minister of the country will be far more powerful because he will have a bigger purse to control. He will have more money at his disposal. He may be able to also visit an Africa and a Maldives and a Seychelles and a Djibouti and say, let us put a port here, let me put the railways there, let me put the airport there, because he's got a money purse to spend.
Correct. So there are two angles to it. First of all, he can visit more countries, and then, of course, he can also build ports and stuff.
So the Prime Minister is bound to be very delighted about it. But if we come to, in case the 5 trillion economy happens, and it will happen, the reason is, Sujit, at the moment we are a $2 trillion economy, we have gone on to a roll. It took us about 55, 60 years to just become a $1 trillion economy. The next 1 trillion happened in a matter of 10 years. Now this will happen in a matter of 5, 6 years and we will become a $5 trillion economy. Our economy will double. Doubling of the economy, to me as a finance and economics person, means the tax collection of the government will shoot up. So if it is, let's say, income tax of 10 lakh crores last year, at a 5 trillion economy, we should be about 25 lakh crores of income tax. So the government has got more tax collection, the government has got more finance power, the government has got far bigger budgets. The question is, what will they do with the budgets? If they are really going to spend the budgets prudently, then it means India has far better infrastructure. So we will probably get good drinking water, we will get better hospitals, we will get better education. So if it is spent prudently. But on the other hand, if the government gets in a nationalist mode, probably our military spending will shoot up. So India will become a huge military power, our budgets for military will shoot up. So it depends on what is done with the money, Sujit.
Akhilesh, isn't it ironical that when we were sub 1 trillion, maybe 10 years back, our problem was roti, kapda and makan. We still were fighting with the basic. After being 2 trillion, our problem is still roti, kapda and makan.
And corruption.
And corruption. Corruption was consistent. That one thing that we were, very consistent with. The irony is, somewhere down the line, we don't know how to spend our money. That is very clear.
Checks and balances are missing.
Checks and balances are missing and sheer prioritization is missing. See, Akhilesh, I still wonder, we go to a lot of villages. And if you see some of the villages, they haven't changed since the last 40 or 50 years. Maybe the thatched huts could have changed into maybe, those houses. But end of the day, nothing has changed. There is still that one shop, that Vani shop that gives your grocery vendor, that's your multi-brand shop in a village. Even today, they depend on that hand pump to go get water for their houses. Even today, there is that one well. So many villages. There's just one well that takes care of the entire village. What is the $2 trillion, $5 trillion, $100 trillion worth?
You know, you mentioned about the rural India part. The same applies to a city like Bombay. Our roads are as bad as they were when it was less than 1 trillion,
Correct.
Probably worse. The street mafia remains as it is. Public travel, in fact, rail travel remains as risky as it was. Safety of commuters doesn't remain. We face the same traffic jams. Water is still a problem. Pollution is a problem.
Correct.
So, yes, for the common man, the numbers for the sake of announcing the government feels nice. Now we are a $2 trillion economy. But the ground level delivery remains as poor as it was.
And the irony is, very correctly said Akhilesh, in a city like Mumbai, the irony is that somewhere down the line, our cars have become bigger and our houses have become smaller. Which technically means our standard of living has become worst.
Yes.
Possibly
yes.
our fictitious living, our what you say, outwardly living, maybe with a larger car and all, it has become bigger, but our standard of living actually has become smaller.
And if you go further on that part, Sujit,
Quality of life.
Quality of life. But if you take it further on the quality of life and, ease of living or achieving better levels of living, let me put it that way. But by virtue of we becoming 2 trillion, at some point we were 500 billion, now we are 2 trillion. Has our healthcare system improved? It is not. Has our education system improved? It is not. Has our system of primary healthcare for, the slums that we have,
Correct.
has it improved? No, it has not.
Has slums been eradicated?
Have slums been? Well, they have been eradicated wherever a politician came with a bulldozer, threw the people out and made a high rise. That plot got eradicated.
Achha, how much money should we make to eradicate politicians, by the way? I think that will be the biggest eradication.
If you have a $5 trillion economy, you'll have more politicians going for it, because the more the honey, the more the bees going for it. So it is going to be anti.
Correct.
So coming back on this 5 trillion economy, on paper it sounds very good. On paper it means we would become a middle income country. On paper it means we will have many more multinational enterprises of India straddling the world. On paper it means India will be an attractive destination for a lot of foreign investment to come into the country. On paper it means we would be far more globalized. For all Indian languages, like you have a lot of Europeans and Americans wanting to learn Mandarin. A lot of them will want to probably learn Hindi and Telugu and all kinds of other languages. So on paper, it sounds good that, we are going to become bigger. We'll be a $5 trillion economy. We'll be the third largest economy in the world. At 2030, then they are expecting another milestone happening. But it all depends on the execution at the ground level. To me, what it looks at the execution at the ground level is, Sujit, poverty will be eliminated only in terms of bookish parameters. But whether people will live good, quality lives is a big question mark. Because the kind of urbanization that India is facing by virtue of the economy doubling, the urban areas are not in any great shape to give a good quality of living. So the ground level might be very different. On paper, great, I am a $5 trillion economy.
Like the Bhutan economy, the happiness index. One wonders what will be the happiness index.
I think it will be just where it is.
Where it is.
Or it might deteriorate.
Absolutely, because I don't think it'll make any difference to anybody.
Yes.
I think, Akhilesh, somewhere down the line, I don't think policies and figures are meant to help people. They are meant to show people. It is not do good. It is show good. See, actually we did a program also on that most of these ratings are what? Ratings actually are not there on ground. It is all,
it is all tick in the box.
It's all tick in the box. All these GDP figures, 2 trillion, 5 trillion, is very good when you stand in that stage with 1 lakh people shouting your name and you saying, I'll make it into 5 trillion. Finally, what is it for a common man? That's the question. See, somewhere down the line, in this 5 trillion economy, where do you see the agricultural sector?
Sujit, the agricultural sector will be as disregarded as it is, because I don't see a structural change happening such that agriculture becomes a business. to be profitable, to make the farmer feel more prosperous and more looked after, or a welfare state for the farmer. And especially if the agricultural sector then sees the onset of large multinationals, because you really do not know in which sector they will go, and they are like a monster which goes wherever they wish because of the power and influence they have. It would be anti-farmer.
Akhilesh, in Indian economy, in the economic growth of India, will we ever see agriculture?
As spearheaded.
As a stakeholder. Oh, spearheaded to dur ki baat hai. I'm saying as a small stakeholder. Will you ever see agriculture as a stakeholder?
I don't think so, because again, it's a question of who has a voice. Which is the voice that they have? Every politician on paper is a farmer, by the way. A lot of them are.
Yes,
they sit in the parliament.
Even Amitabh Bachchan is a farmer.
Yeah, but after that, it ends there.
Then he stopped farming, and then he thought he'll act in films.
And he did good.
He did good, yeah.
So, coming back, $5 trillion sounds good on paper. But in reality, will it mean an improved lot for the common man? Will it mean better education? Will it mean better healthcare? Will it mean better social infrastructure? Will it mean better urban infrastructure? I think the answer is no.
So to conclude this, Akhilesh, I think what we are trying to say is $5 trillion is only worth if we don't have a single malnourished child in India. $5 trillion is only worth if every youth has an opportunity to work and gets a job. Job becomes a right and not a privilege. $5 trillion is only worth if there is food on the table of every Indian. $5 trillion is only worth when the road's down. You can safely say that you will go straight and not down. $5 trillion is only worth if not India, but Indians move forward. Namaskar. For more such episodes, please subscribe to HW News and press the bell icon for instant notification. Also, do give this video a like and share the video to spread the word around.